Welcome, everyone, to a beautiful day at Haydays in North Branch, Minnesota for the Lucas Oil Terracross Shootout presented by Polaris Razor. Hi, everyone. I'm Tess Sewell alongside Grant Langston. We have Georgia Lindsay down on track for us today. Haydays! It's the biggest gathering of snowmobile enthusiasts in the world. 40,000 people in a field in Minnesota. And Terracross. Well, Terracross is the most inclusionary off-road sport in the world. And our athletes talk about it.
Yeah, Terracross has done a very good job at including everybody across the board. UTVs are something that anybody can drive. You know, it's a skill set from a young age to an older age, and men and women of all kinds. It's just something that everyone can go out there and have fun.
This is kind of cool that I get to line up with girls right off the bat and we get to race each other and then go into racing all together. So I think this format is awesome. I like it that we have our own class and that everyone's, you know, out here representing.
It opens the doors for new females to get in there and not be intimidated to actually race a car. A driver is a racer, and when you put that helmet on, guy or girl, same racer out on the track.
And we're getting ready for our first race coming up here, but for more on our athletes, let's head down to the line and Georgia Lindsay.
Addison Nibel is one of the youngest competitors in this women class, but the awesome thing is she races GNCC, she's out here doing Terracross, but she's also in school doing marine biology. She had to do her first semester online just because she's been so busy with racing and being out here. Loves animals and doing her schoolwork. It's great to see her out here.
Well, it'll be great to see them here in a few, but let's have a look at the track off the Optima starting line through the first turn, over the Walker Evans whoops, then the Fox Proving Grounds. Tight right-hander, then into the only left on the track. Then after that, a split lane, great passing opportunity, double right-hander, into the Sedona Tire Ripsaw Ridge, one more right-hander, over the Fly Racing finish line, and that's a lap here.
That's the track facing our Fly Racing Pro Women's class. There you see Addison Nibel on the right of the front row, Jamie Luberg on the left.
Behind her, a lot of competition with Jolene Van Voogd and Sarah Price.
And a little jump on the line almost for Jolene, just getting ready. When the flag goes up, the pro women will be racing on this Haydays track.
Oh, that anticipation. And they get going. Clean start so far.
Jamie Luberg off to a great race right now as we come over the Walker Evans whoop section. Look at the lead she already has on the pink Razor of Jolene Van Voogd.
Jolene doing a great job there, sneaking up into that second position. Best time to make up ground is on the opening lap when everyone's trying to figure out what's a fast line. You see different options, split lane there, on board with our Odyssey battery here with Jolene. So great start for her, already up one position. She can go off the leader.
And an awesome shot there of Jolene. You saw when she took the air how she was just slightly weightless in those harnesses. These machines, absolutely incredible, almost stock Razors, and it's just amazing what punishment they can take.
Oh, definitely so. And we saw this Ripsaw Ridge create some trouble in the previous race, but everyone getting through there clean on this opening lap. Sarah Price also up one spot in that Hoonigan rig. You could see her getting a bit of a hard landing off that jump. This track not in the best shape like it was when they first started. You can see these vehicles bouncing around, these Razors, beating these women up and then to the inside. Jolene has a look. Jamie Luberg able to carry that momentum around the outside, and oh! How did she save that? That was some phenomenal reflexes right there. Let's take a look real quick here. She lands, cross-rutted, bicycles. Great job from Jolene as well. Hitting the brakes, great reaction from the woman up front. No harm, no foul, just a position take.
And Jolene really pushing Jamie Luberg hard there may have caused that slight mistake, but again, Jamie Luberg, what skill it took in getting that machine back on four wheels.
Yeah, that was a little more than luck. That was some great driving there. Now our front three are bunched up. Sarah Price starting to sneak up. Maybe that little bit of mayhem that she saw up ahead, getting her a little excited. Now she's having a look up the inside of Luberg for second.
Oh, and Sarah Price just slowed down a little bit there in the Fox Proving Ground. And again, taking this huge jump, and it looks right now that she has managed to get past Jamie Luberg.
Yeah, on board with our E3 spark plugs. Getting a great look there. A little bit of clear track now. She can have a direct look at the race leader, Jolene. These two have raced each other many a time, so not a stranger to battling for the lead. Going through this Sedona Tire Ripsaw Ridge. See the woman being a little more cautious after some of the shenanigans we saw through there.
And Luberg now chasing behind that Black Hoonigan machine of Sarah Price, trying to get that spot back. So it's Jolene Van Buet in first, Sarah Price in second, Jamie Luberg in third position.
And off camera, we've lost Kayla Savage. She is out of the race, couple laps down now. Back on board with Jolene, courtesy of Odyssey Battery. You can see the concentration in her eyes. And kind of surprising, Tess wearing that orange lens, especially on a sunny day. But hey, must work for her.
And I think earlier on today, a little bit of clouds, and I think maybe not the best choice, but it certainly doesn't seem to be slowing her down, Grant.
Not at all. Still carrying on the lead. Eyes wide open. You got to be up on the wheel on this track, especially as the track deteriorates. Having a look there, Addison Nibel. A little bit lonely there behind this lead pack. But as we've seen many a time in Terracross, anything can happen, and a lot of times it usually does.
And that really is the key here, is never give up, because you never know what might happen. And we've seen Jamie Luberg almost go over early in the race here, and mistakes like that can give you an opportunity to get yourself a podium position.
Absolutely, and look at this, Sarah Price now starting to put the pressure on Jolene. They're just past halfway in this race. There's still plenty of time, not much in it. And if any of them make a mistake, Luberg is right behind. And we have the mandatory caution coming out. They'll re-rack him, restack him, and let him go again.
Jolene Van Buet leads the race at our mandatory halfway point caution. Can she hold off the charge of Sarah Price? And can Jamie Luberg get herself back into the mix? More Fly Racing Pro Women's category when we come back to Terracross.
Terracross on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Polaris Razor. Fuel your freedom. By FlyRacing.com. And by Lucas Oil. Made in America, sold to the world.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Lucas Oil Terracross Shootout presented by Polaris Razor. And you can see the people there wandering around here at Heydays, getting themselves some hillbilly fries. Tess Sewell along with Grant Langston and Georgia Lindsay, our Fly Racing Pro Women's class, getting ready for their restart. And unfortunately, Kayla Savage has had to pull out of this race, so she will not be rejoining us for the last half. The beauty of this Terracross racing is that our Polaris Razors are virtually stock machines. There's very, very little done to them to get them ready for racing. And for more on that, we checked in with our own Andy Ives.
Thanks, guys. Here we are racing Terracross with Polaris Razor XP 1000s. The vehicle you see here on my right is the vehicle I'll be racing today. Take a look at the vehicle from the front to the back. Really, there's not a whole lot different on these vehicles compared to what you see on the showroom floor. You'll see the addition of front and rear bumpers, as well as beadlock wheels and tires, and a safety harness in the cockpit. If you look at the vehicle here on my left, the stock vehicle, there's not much really different. These vehicles from Polaris are built, ready to go to race. Go check them out at your local Polaris dealership, and maybe come race with us at Terracross.
Yeah, Tess, like you said, not a whole lot different there, just a little more for the safety aspect of these vehicles in case they go over. Green flag restart, here we go, single file after a mandatory caution. Great start for Jolene up the inside. Sarah Price goes to the outside, leaves the door open for Luberg, and oh, what a big jump up the inside.
That was an amazing jump there from Jolene Van Buet. She actually managed to get so much more airtime than Jamie and Sarah did, downsided that perfectly. And working that machine hard through the Fox Proving Grounds. Sarah Price, though, she's trying to find a way around Luberg.
Yeah, she lost out there on that start. It's one of those, it's very hard to make that decision. Do you follow or do you take a different line? Like they say, you cannot pass if you're following, especially at Terracross with these side-by-side machines. So you've got to sometimes roll the dice and take an alternative line. That time just did not work out for her. And Luberg, Jamie Luberg was the beneficiary. Oh! Huge jump and damage. She has damaged the front right side of that Polaris, look at the front wheel, and I got a feeling she may not be able to finish this. Let's look at the replay here. She just launches it. All the weight comes down on that wheel, and yeah, you can see her now just struggling to keep that thing in a straight line, Tess.
Well, the question is, she'll know something is wrong, not quite what's wrong. You think she had so much pressure from Jamie and Sarah behind her, she really just overcooked it?
Yeah, I mean, she had been relatively cautious coming out of the Sedona Tire Ripsaw Ridge, but that time around, it just seemed to pitch her a little bit front end high as well as off center. She pulls off the track. I got a feeling that's going to be a race over. She knows it, the disappointment. And we did say these machines are basically stock, and that is something that, well, as far as these machines are great, when you push them really hard and come down with all the weight on that one front end, you're going to have an issue.
And I mean, if you look, that replay was amazing to watch because the height she got out of that Sedona Tire Ripsaw Ridge takeoff to land on that front wheel, if it hadn't broken, I would have been shocked.
Yeah, exactly. Very unfortunate. I think it gave her a bit of a bounce. And with the tires on top, I think she was expecting it to catch the rear and kind of push it down. Oh, Sarah Price there. For a second, I thought she had stalled the motor, but back on it. So this restart really has worked out for Jamie Luberg, coming from third, taking the lead, and just a couple laps to go. Just basically wanting to fend off Sarah Price. White flag is out.
So this is it. Last lap, Jamie Luberg leading out Sarah Price. And Sarah, she managed to find a way past Jamie in the first half of the race. The question now is, with so little racing left, can she find a door open?
Wow, look at that. You saw the lines cross over. Sarah Price went from the inside to the outside. Jamie Luberg protecting the tight line. Oh, little bit of contact there.
Luberg doing a great job of defending the lines. I don't know if Sarah's going to be able to find that path.
But certainly not from a lack of trying. She is really grinding. Look at it. Couldn't be any closer.
And you saw the correction there to the left, but it's not going to be enough. Jamie Luberg over the line, and she will take it. Our Fly Racing Pro Women's Class winner today, the 525 of Jamie Luberg. And unfortunately, Jolene Van Butte having that little incident going out, and Georgia's caught up with her.
Leading the races and good starts for Jolene, but unfortunately ended up with a broken front axle. I think it was going off this tire jump. Yeah. I imagine that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the main concern of the day for everybody. It's really tricky if you hit it in the wrong direction with the wrong speed at anything. I tried to limp her around, hoping I could at least finish in a really slow pace, maybe still get third, but they called me off, and when they call you off, you can't keep going.
Well, possibly just a safety issue there, but disappointment for Jolene. Just misses out on the podium. Great drive for Jamie coming through. Sarah Price pushing her all the way to the finish line, and Addison Neibel able to sneak out a podium there. Great drive for those.
And as we said, Addison Neibel hung on, and she did get a podium. But the winner today, Jamie Luberg, she's down with Georgia.
What an awesome race to have just watched. Jamie, congratulations, taking the win. You and Sarah battled it out the last few laps.
We did. We got some of the best women's UTV racers out here this weekend. And Sarah and Jolene, I mean, us three were out there and we're giving it all we can got, leaving it all on the track. And fun racing out here this weekend. The track is awesome, huge jumps, a lot of carnage going on, and the women's class is the one to watch right at the moment.
Well, congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
So fantastic result for Jamie Luberg. Held off that charge of Sarah Price. But coming up, the men take to the track in the Odyssey Battery Turbo 1000. Big boys racing when we come back to Terracross. Welcome back, everyone, to the chaotic ballet that is Heydays here in North Branch, Minnesota. This is the Lucas Oil Terracross Shootout presented by Polaris Razor. And this event, it's the biggest snowmobile gathering in the world, 40,000 people in these farm fields here north of Minneapolis, St. Paul. Well, we saw the women race on our Terracross track, and now the boys are getting ready to race, but what's it like when you strap into one of these machines? Well, why don't we let our athletes tell us?
When you jump in the cockpit, take that first jump, and sail over the jump for the first time. It's kind of an unnerving feeling at first, but then when you land and actually you feel the smooth and the transition onto the flat or to the transition to the jump, it really starts feeling really awesome.
It was nothing like I expected was my first impression. They're fun and they're very reactive.
You don't even have a time to take a breath, to blink. It's 110% for about 10 minutes, and then you finally get that dump of adrenaline when you cross the finish line.
You're really getting rattled around pretty good.
You're getting thrown around, you're getting bashed and bruised pretty much, honestly.
You can't use any body English to adjust which way the machine's going or get your nose down or up in the air, and you're more just going for the ride.
Seriously, anybody that can step foot in this thing would be blown away by just the machine itself, but then getting to ride a track like the Terracross track, where it's super technical, wide open, and you're racing people with two different lines, you're getting shoved in corners, it's unreal.
Well, already strapped into his yellow and black machine, the builder of this Terracross track, Jason Luberg, is down with Georgia Lindsay.
Jason Luberg taking third in the first race. But for you, I know you had some issues with the buggy, but coming into this one, are you all fixed up?
Yep, we're all fixed up. I think we got something to help it keep from popping out of neutral. I think we got it figured out. So, go out and have some fun.
All right, I'll let you enjoy.
Thanks, guys.
Jason having problems there with his machine. He actually kept popping out of gear, Grant, and he still managed to hang on for a third.
Yeah, he did a lot of manual transmission driving there, but like you said, able to put on the podium. Now has a chance to go and maybe fight for a win, but we look at the starting grid. Cole Coutu on the front row, as well as Chet Michelson. Behind him, Jason Luberg, who we just chatted with. He's going to have to do a little bit of passing. Driver's getting ready for that green flag drop, and it's off.
Oh, and Cole Coutu got a good jump there, but he is being pressured almost instantly by Jason Luberg in that number one machine.
Oh, and a big jump there for our leader. Stretching it out a little bit. You can tell a little bit of trickery by going around the outside of that first turn. So for the drivers on the outside, it can be a little bit tricky. We're seeing some jostling for position, and already Jason Luberg is up into second.
We're on board now, the Odyssey battery on board of James Hill, and you can see there the amount of hang time they get over some of these big jumps. James is trying to work on the inside line now to get past Jason Luberg.
Oh, that battle is tightening up. So the 991 of James Hill as we go on board with our Odyssey battery. Nice opening lap for him.
And you can really see how hard he's working. What I'm looking at, though, is how hard Luberg is pushing his machine. And I wonder if he's just a little too keen to get that lead. Oh, yeah, and there he goes.
Whoa, he just blitzed through that section and powered around the outside with great momentum. What a power move that was. That was absolutely 100% commitment there from Jason Luberg. Like you said, pushing these machines to the max, but just shows you what could be done, and he had a great rhythm through there.
Oh! Two almost off the side of the track, and then Ronnie Anderson just blazes right through. Where on earth did he come from?
Well, he saw the opportunity there and he decided to take it, and it looks like possibly problems for the 21 of Cole, but he gets going, and that in turn creates a problem for Hill, who's now stuck at the bottom of Ripsaw Ridge.
James, no big deal. Hill traveled a long way to be here from California. We caught up with him before the race.
I've been involved with Terracross since 2013. For me, it's a very high-paced racing, and the adrenaline levels are through the roof. It's very extreme. There's logs, there's tires, there's big bumps, doubles, ruts, big berms. So there's a certain thing about Terracross. There's no racing like it.
On board now, Jason Luberg still in the lead and still punishing that Razor.
Yeah, Fly Racing bringing us those beautiful onboard shots, and look at his rhythm through here. Something you would see more at a supercross track, just absolutely nailing it, and you see how much time he gains and how much smoother he gets through there. Now in second place, Ronnie Anderson. He's been driving great, but with the speed of Luberg out front, not quite able to make a dent on that gap.
And you can see the difference between the two driving styles there. Ronnie really picking his way through that Fox Proving Grounds where Jason, he builds these tracks, so he kind of feels the rhythm.
Oh, he's definitely feeling the rhythm today. Looking so solid.
And Ronnie Anderson, he keeps finding these bursts of speed, trying to chase down Jason Luberg. Our Odyssey Battery Turbo 1000 class on the course right now. Jason Luberg leading out Ronnie Anderson. Can he keep it that way? Find out when we come back. Welcome back, everyone, to the Lucas Oil Terracross Shootout presented by Polaris RZR. The crowd gathered around this Terracross track, up close and personal with the action. Our Odyssey Battery Turbo 1000 on track. Tess Sewell here along with Grant Langston and Georgia Lindsay, and we are getting ready for our halfway restart.
Fortunately, we've got all the players back in it, and as they do always on the restart, single file. See our starter with the green flag. So for Luberg, little less nerves on this one with not having guys side by side. You can pick your line, and a lot of times we're pretty sure we'll see them go to the inside. Green flag waves, and we're back at racing.
Oh, and Ronnie Anderson followed right behind him and really applied some pressure. And look at the jump that Jason Luberg gets. Oh, problem.
And is this the same problem he had before? Yes, it looks like it. Once again, gearbox issues. I think that RZR jumping out of gear. Once it's in gear, he is flying, man. He's got a great pace through there. But the one that got hurt out of that deal was Ronnie Anderson. Had nowhere to go. Got stuck behind Luberg, and that has opened the door for Hill.
So James Hill leading out Jason Luberg, and Luberg having problems earlier in the day with that gearbox, and it looks like the gremlins are back, and he will not be happy about that.
Gotta be frustrating. Just when you think you've got it sorted out, the gremlins return, and he's not giving up. This battling is great as we contact from our Fly Racing onboard, and Luberg, well, you gotta say, the door wasn't quite open, but he pushed it open, took the lead. And Hill just destroys that RZR. Oh, stuck the front end into one of those logs, rips the front end, and then Luberg is out. What is going on?
Well, the question here was the contact between Hill and Luberg. What caused the problem there for Hill, and then I think maybe caused the problem for Luberg.
Yeah, Hill just, I'm not sure if there was anything prior to that, but he definitely just stuck that front end into one of those jumps. And, well, we saw Luberg came to a standstill. We're assuming it's transmission issues. Now it's come to a complete grinding halt, and he appears to be out of the vehicle and out of the race.
So that spells good news for Ronnie Anderson, Cole Coutu, and Chet Michelson. Cole Coutu right now working past that broken down machine of James Hill, and you see Luberg and Hill having a little conversation about what might have happened.
Well, it doesn't seem to be too intense. A couple little smiles on their face. I think they realized they were having fun, having a great battle. Unfortunately, ended a little short for them. But the Ditch Witch, number 21, looking strong, not under immense pressure at the moment after all that carnage from a couple laps ago. But as we've seen, this track, very treacherous and very easy to make a mistake. Your timing has to be precise, and he's got to be precise for one more lap, Cole Coutu.
We saw the white flag flying there, and we could not see Ronnie Anderson behind Cole Coutu, so that is good news for him. He has clear track ahead of him, has about a half a lap left. You see now Ronnie Anderson starting to work that machine, but I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to Cole Coutu.
No, I think the real battle here is going to be for the second spot in third place at the moment. Chet Michelson, is he going to be able to get around Ronnie on this last lap? I don't believe he will. Oh, and Coutu still going for it right here at the end of the race. One more right-hander, and he will take the checkered flag.
Cole Coutu wins our Odyssey Battery Turbo 1000 race. Now the question is, can Michelson catch up to Ronnie Anderson? Both machines are looking slow. I don't know if maybe they've lost front-wheel drive. But here, Anderson coming through the Sedona Tire Ripsaw Ridge for the last time, and he will take second place.
Yeah, just not sure if it was a problem or just taking it easy, knowing that there was nothing to be gained. As we take a look at our final results, Cole Coutu with the win, Ronnie Anderson second, Chet Michelson rounds out the podium. Hill has issues, Luberg has what appears to be transmission issues again. But Georgia was able to catch up with our winner, Cole Coutu, about that crazy race that just happened.
Coutu getting the overall win there. Wow, what an insane race. We saw you have some issues over here. Wasn't sure if there was something going on with the car. Tell us what was happening.
Yeah, I started out front right away and it was starting to run into some difficulties. I actually, my power steering kept going out, and with those sharp corners and the deep ruts, it was super hard to turn, and I was muscling around, and I was actually had to shut the Razor off. But yeah, I knew there was going to be a mandatory restart halfway through, and I started third in that and just slowly tried to stay consistent. And some people went down and made some moves and was able to just run a consistent race and get the win. So couldn't be any more happier. Thank you.
Well, you race snowmobiles as well. Do they have power steering? I mean, come on.
No, they don't. It's a little bit different, though.
Well, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, being consistent paid off for Cole Coutu. And charging hard, well, that didn't work out so well for James Hill. Third place today, though, a great result for Chet Michelson, and Georgia's caught up with him.
Chet Michelson taking the third place in that race. Now, the first half of the race didn't go that well for you, but the second half, you managed to pull everything together after the restart.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything went great. The mechanics in the back, they really got the car back in line there, and Terracross is kind of a chess game of cat and mouse. So my intentions today were to play a nice, consistent, smooth race, and I felt I did that and let the other guys fault out, and here I am for the third.
Well done.
A chess game. I like the way he described that. Well, coming up, more excitement. The battle of the sexes in our Turbo versus XP 1000 shootout. Boys and girls on the track together when we come back.
Terracross on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by TerracrossRacing.com. Affordable entertainment television. By E3 Spark Plugs, born to burn. And by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world.
Welcome back to North Branch, Minnesota, and the Lucas Oil Terracross shootout presented by Polaris Razor. We're getting ready for our XP 1000 versus Turbo class, and that means we're going to have an awful lot of machines on our tight and technical Terracross track here. You can see them getting lined up. And with so many vehicles on the track, sometimes it's hard to find a passing opportunity. We sat down with our athletes to talk about it.
They do set us up with these two different lane systems. The inside is usually, inside with an obstacle, outside is further, but usually flat.
So to set up a pass, you get as close as you can to one of the competitors, then you take the split lane, and generally you got to drive your car harder during the split lane to get around the driver. There's like an edge there where you're teetering one way or another, but you've got to push it, you got to push past that edge, keeping it all fours, you make that pass, and then you can kind of set back into your groove. But there for a straightaway, when you have to go into that opposite lane and make that move, man, I got to tell you, it's chaos. You're sitting on the edge of your seat just hoping the car will stay together.
Rubbin's racing, that's kind of how you lean on the guy to get around him. The tracks are narrow and tight, so there's not a whole lot of opportunity to pass. So there's definitely a lot of banging and bumping around there, and it's really at the end of the day, who's going to commit to the corner and who's going to go the fastest through it.
If they make a mistake, you better be there and pass them as fast as you can, because there's not a lot of room on this track, and so you got to take your chances sometimes.
Well, lined up on the left-hand side of the front there, Sarah Price. She took second in the women's race today, and Georgia Lindsay is down on track with her.
Now, this one is going to be one exciting race to watch. It's the chase race or the cat and mouse race, whatever you want to call it. But we do have the 1000s will be starting first, followed by the turbos with a time delay in between. This is pressure, front row, getting ready to go out here, Sarah.
Yeah, this is actually the first time that I get to start up front this whole first event. So this is a breath of fresh air because now I can get up front, kind of run my own race, and not have anyone in front of me where potentially can slow me down. So I'm looking forward to it, but most of all, I'm looking forward to racing my boyfriend, who I've never raced against, who's in the back in a turbo. So we're gonna see what happens here.
Well, that really is the battle of the sexes, Grant. She's getting ready to take down her boyfriend.
Yeah, that's what she hopes. She's near the front, definitely got an advantage. But before we go any further, let's go back to Georgia with James Hill.
Well, we spoke to Sarah. Now I want to see the other half of the story. You're in the turbo. She's up front. What's going to happen? And is this going to be a domestic violence thing when we get home?
No, this is going to be, it's all for fun here. We're both familiar with Terracross and love racing these cars. So shows for the fans, and can't wait to get up there and battle with her.
So the way this works, the XP1000s are at the front. That group will take off, and then there's a time delay, and the turbos will launch off the line, Grant.
And what adds more to it, we got the ladies all in the odd number position. So 1, 3, 5, as well as the men. And the even side, 2, 4, 6. So it's going to be chaotic. We got two different types of machines, and male and female together. Look at all these vehicles. This is going to be some organized chaos, and I can't wait.
So the XP1000s take off first. They are slightly less powerful than those turbo machines that are going to launch behind them. But what I do know is that's a lot of traffic, and it's going to be really hard to pass.
Oh, it will be, in a great jump there. Up the inside for Sarah Price, and already we have a driver on its side. Ross Robinson just tips over, bicycles it into that first turn. Probably a little enthusiastic, and also, oh, you see, caught the outside of the inside line and just pitched that Razor over on its side.
Well, and because of that, it looks like we're going to hold the launch of the turbos here, because obviously one line at the start is pretty much full of Ross Robinson's machine.
So they're going to do a full restart. Red flag. They'll line them back up, get going. Don't go anywhere. The turbos versus the 1000. The ladies versus the gents. We'll be back in a few.
Welcome back, everyone. The Lucas Oil Terracross Shootout, presented by Polaris Razor. This is our XP1000 versus Turbo class, and chaos on the first start has caused us to have a restart. Tess Sewell, Grant Langston, and Georgia Lindsay getting ready to call the action. There you see Sarah Price on the left-hand side of the start line, Darren Meese on the right.
Yeah, they definitely had to do this restart. You couldn't let those turbos go into the first turn with Ross Robinson blocking the outside. They are too wide off the original start. Green flag, and we're back under racing. Complete restart, and a carbon copy. Sarah Price jumps out to the lead.
And Sarah Price with that inside line really manages to get a fantastic start. Darren Meese chasing her down. But you can see now with that split lane, so many vehicles, just how chaotic this is.
And now the turbos get released. These guys, more power, but guess what? Also more traffic to deal with. So that's going to be interesting. You're going to have the difference between power, but once this starts, once this gap closes up, it's going to get interesting. On board we here with Damon Bradshaw. He's had a bit of bad luck. Currently in 9th, but obviously just the opening lap. He's got plenty of time to try and make his way through the field.
And Bradshaw there really did get a good start, and he managed to get some power as he came into the Fox Proving Grounds. This is Sarah Price, though, holding off the rest of the charge in her XP1000. She is putting in a great race.
Flying the flags for the ladies, as well as Jamie Luberg in second place. So a great opening lap there for the ladies, going well, basically from first and third on the grid, getting ahead. So for the men right now, they got a lot of work to do. You know they don't want to get beaten by the ladies. The battle of the sexes, but right now, Sarah Price, no slouching.
Oh no. Bradshaw off the side of the track, retires early, and he was looking so good there right off the start, so no idea what happened, but not the result he was looking for. Meanwhile, Andy Ives in 4th place. These are the men trying to chase down Sarah Price and Jamie Luberg, and I'm very impressed at just how far Price and Luberg managed to pull away.
Yeah, they've just been phenomenal at the opening stages of this race, and you're starting to see that battle for 3rd place starting to heat up a little bit. Meese has it at the moment, but Ives was all over him coming out of that Sedona tire, Ridgesaw Ridge. And you see, 52, there's that Ronnie Anderson. Yes.
Wow.
Oh,
Oh, back on the track. So something happened, maybe popped out of gear there. The number 1, the yellow and black machine of Jason Luberg. That looks to be our first turbo on the racetrack right now. Oh, look at this. Great onboard shot.
You think these guys just sit and turn the wheel? No way. There is so much going on in these machines. Luberg got the pace, trying to cut through the pack. But as he tries to take a different line, that opened up the opportunity for Ronnie Anderson. So, like you said, Tess, maybe that vehicle just jumped out of gear temporarily, but he seems to be back up to full speed.
And there they're working on Addison Neibel. So Luberg trying to find his way past Neibel through. Oh, wow. And you can see how hard he was slamming that machine through the Fox Proving Grounds.
Oh, you definitely get beaten around a little bit. Luberg's just shown great pace all day and carrying that momentum around the outside. Not afraid to launch it, but also doing it while relatively driving smooth. It's very easy to get out of shape and have these things, you know, sort of teeter-tottering through the rhythms, bouncing all over the place. But he is now pulling off the track. So what has happened to Luberg? This is just one of these races where who's going to get to the finish line?
Jason, I mean, it looks like the machine is rolling, but he's actually heading for the exit gate. So that is really unfortunate. Jason Luberg was starting to charge. Now, Sarah Price, the number 78, she is coming into traffic. She had a 6-second lead on the second place of Jamie Luberg. So Price has to work her way now through the back markers, and that might allow Luberg to catch up.
Smart driving there from Sarah Price, not getting over anxious, just checking up a little bit there. We saw a driver sort of stuck in her line. And then, oh, look at that. That Ives just jumping around Mies there. They almost made contact. In fact, I think there was just a slight bit of contact. Luberg has no idea what's happening behind her. This is just, wow. I guess we should have expected this with so many vehicles on the track. On board with Andy Ives, our E3 spark plugs. He is sitting in third place. I think some of the lap traffic just figuring pull off the track, make it a little bit easier for the leaders to get around. And all of a sudden, it's bunched up. First, second, third, and fourth. 2 men, 2 females. Whoa!
Wow.
Side by side.
There's a lot of traffic coming through the Sedona Tire Ripsaw Ridge. Very impressed, though, at the drive from Andy Ives, that number 4 orange and black machine. He's a Polaris engineer by day, so he knows these machines well, but he really has demonstrated some great driving ability here this weekend. And there, the 00, the black and yellow DeWalt machine of Nate Wessel being lapped by the field. And there's Sarah Price working on the back of Nate Wessel.
Well, that was a situation there. I think Nate was trying to get out of the way on board with Andy Ives. Now it's moved up to second place. Our Lucas Oil shot gives it to you there. And over goes one of our lap cars right in the face of Andy Ives, who's now high-centered between the inside and outside rut. And that, well, it sort of played a little bit back into the hands of Sarah Price, who was getting held up. We really saw the leaders bottling back up. Green flag, racing continues.
Well, that was unfortunate. It was Nate Wessel who cooked it a little too hard in that corner, allowed Jamie Luberg, the 525, and Darren Mies in that number 18 monster vehicle to get past Andy Ives. So all that hard work from Ives was for nothing.
Very unfortunate there. We also see the 16 coming to a rest. That's Brett Turcotte on the outside. So really just a wild race at the end of the day here. Everybody hanging it out. Also the track, probably the most beat up it's been the entire weekend. So really putting these machines and drivers to the test.
And that's where you get into trouble on these split lanes where you've got this big carved sidewall, and that's what Nate Wessel found. But the story here, from start to finish, Sarah Price, the number 78 Hoonigan machine, she has just taken the white flag. She has one more lap to go, but Jamie Luberg is close behind, so Sarah cannot let off one iota.
She's got to be smart. We've seen a lot of carnage out there. She's got to be looking down the track, making sure that there's no one in her line. That would really cost a lot of time. Because like you said, Jamie Luberg is just one little mistake away from snatching this victory, but you've got to give it up for the ladies today. First and second place, one more through the Ripsaw Ridge. right-hander, and Sarah Price is going to take it all. 1 for the ladies and 2 just for the 1,000, beating the turbos. Phenomenal drive.
Amazing driving, but maybe better still for Sarah Price is the fact that she managed to beat her boyfriend. Wow! Ronnie Anderson just plows through our finish line.
Well, he was going for it right there, trying to get Ross Robinson for that final step on the podium, less than 0.3 of a second. So Ronnie Anderson, knowing the checkered flag was coming out, gave it everything. Andy Ives was up in second for a bit. He comes in 5th. Hubert in 6th. Looking a little further down the field, some more bad luck for Damon Bradshaw. Rough weekend. Chet Michelson, Cole Couture, several of these drivers not finishing, but what an amazing race and an ending to the day here. Coming up next, our E3 Spark Plugs Award ceremony, where we'll get to talk to the ladies who take it this time around in a fantastic shootout.
Terracross on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Polaris Razor. Fuel your freedom. By Sedona Tire and Wheel. And by Lucas Oil. Made in America. Sold to the world.
You're looking at Ronnie Anderson, who tried hard to get that 3rd place, but didn't quite make it. This is the Lucas Oil Terracross Shootout presented by Polaris Razor. Our XP 1000 versus Turbo class. Carnage all over the track. It looks like a kid's bedroom on Boxing Day. Tess Sewell here with Grant Langston and Georgia Lindsay. Oh man, what an awesome race. Start to finish though for Sarah Price. She's down with Georgia.
Wow, that was one of the best races of the day. And Sarah Price, I spoke to you before it. You said you're going to start up front, and you finished up front. How are you feeling?
Oh man, good. I've been working so hard all weekend, and it just, the luck wasn't on my side, and finally the luck was on my side. And starting up front, I can keep a good pace. I know that I'm fast and consistent, so that's, I just had to keep it together. And, it paid off, and I'm so pumped because now it's not just me up here that's a female, it's also Jamie. So she got 2nd, I believe. Yep. So that's freaking awesome. And all 3 of us girls are sharing a 1st place this weekend. That's awesome.
Sarah and Jamie got 1st and 2nd, but Ross Robinson held off the charge of the turbo that was fastest. That was Ronnie Anderson, and Georgia now has caught up with Ross.
Ross Robinson ending the day in 3rd place. I mean, you do have 2 women up in front of you, but you pulled everything together after the day you had.
Yeah, I got a kind of a bad start, and they brought us back, and I started last and then just started pounding away and trying to work my way up as quick as possible, and just ran out of time to try to catch the ladies, and they're super fast. So total respect to them, and had a great time, and can't thank 509 and Climb for helping me get out here and race. Absolutely love it. So great.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, Grant, we heard about passing before the race, and I think the story was just trying to find your way through traffic.
Oh, absolutely. There was so much going on. And I think sometimes a little bit of patience actually worked out for some of these drivers. Sarah Price showed that, picked her lines, drove smart, and took the victory in the end.
For Grant Langston and Georgia Lindsay, this is Tess Sewell saying thanks for joining us at Terracross. We look forward to seeing you next time.